Alright, this is Weapon X Reacts and we're back with another video, and this is going to be a review of Gone Girl, which is a film directed by David Fincher, and to me, this is honestly one of the most disturbing movies that I have ever seen in my life, as it was just so well acted and directed. And not just that, but this is a movie that I totally recommend that you should go check out once in your life, as it is going to be an experience that you will never forget. But I will warn you that the film can get pretty hard to watch at times, but still, this is an amazing film that deserves a lot more attention, especially nowadays. I am going to break down the plot of this film. So, Nick Dunn discovers that the entire media focus has shifted on him when his wife, Amy Dunn, mysteriously disappears on the day of the wedding anniversary. If there was one thing that I really liked about this film, is the way in how it does such an amazing job at telling a story that is deeply compelling. And while it may look simple at times, this is a very well written and complex movie that will stay with you long after it's over. And to me, one of the most interesting things about this film is that it's so much more than just a thriller, but a powerful study on toxic relationships and media manipulation as a whole. And not just that, but I thought some of the acting performances were all just so well done, especially from Ben Affleck as Nick Dunn. And to me, this is honestly one of his best performances, as he does such an amazing job at portraying his character as someone who is deeply flawed but just so well written, all at the same time. And when we first see his character in the opening scene of the film, it immediately starts off with a POV shot of him staring at his wife and touching her head. But when she decides to wake up, it quickly transitions into a shot of him standing on the outside of his house as he drives all the way to meet his twin sister at the bar. And this is where you start to realize that this is a deeply complex character. And to me, I thought that this was a perfect introduction into who he really is as a person. And not just that, but it perfectly sets up everything for the film that you are about to see. And I am not gonna lie to you right now, out of all of the films that I've seen in my life, no film shows a more realistic depiction of a toxic marriage better than this film right here. And you can really see that from Nick Dunn's character arc throughout the film. One of the most interesting things about him as a character is the way in how he tries to do everything that he can in order to find the truth about his wife and who he really is as a person. And while he knows that it won't bring any peace to his own life, you can really see that he is trying to become a better person through the journey that he goes on throughout the film. And not just that, but he is a perfect example of someone who was desperate in wanting to come to terms with himself and his own reality. And to me, it is honestly one of the main reasons on why he is such a well written and deeply complex character. And you can really see that from Ben Affleck's powerful performance in this movie. And I am not gonna lie to you right now, he deserves a lot of praise for his performance in this film, as it was just that fucking good. And not just that, but this is a pretty realistic depiction of a man who is deeply consumed by his own guilt over losing his wife, and when he realizes that his wife actually manipulated him, it hits hard. And it is just honestly one of the main reasons on why this film is just so fucking good and why it is a great thriller. And if there was one thing that I really liked about his performance in this movie, is the way in how he brought so much depth and complexity into his character. As it really goes to show you that he is honestly one of the best actors working in Hollywood today. And you can really see that from this film right here. And overall, Nick Dunn is such a well written and deeply complex character. And Ben Affleck honestly makes this film better than it already is with his performance. And I am not gonna lie to you right now, this is definitely up there as being one of the most powerful performances in the history of cinema. I thought Rosamund Pike did such an amazing job playing Amy Dunn, despite the fact that she wasn't in the film all that much. And to me, one of the most interesting things about her as a character is the way in how she tries to manipulate people in order to get what she wants, even if it means that she will need to come to terms with her own sense of reality. But if there was one thing that I really liked about Rosamund Pike's performance, is the way in how she brought so much depth and complexity into the role. As it really makes Amy Dunn so much more than just a side character, but someone who is actually terrifying and will do whatever it takes in order to achieve her goals. And you can really see that from how she is portrayed as being a young woman who faked her own death just so she can destroy her husband's life from the inside out and manipulate the media. And overall, this is honestly her best performance, as it really goes to show you that she is honestly one of the most underrated actors working in Hollywood today. And the fact that she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars is a perfect example of why this performance is so fucking good. Because it deserves a lot of praise. Because there are times where you care about a character and there are times where you don't. And that is just what makes her character and performance so compelling and disturbing all at the same time. And David Fincher does such a great job at showing that. And it wasn't just her and Ben Affleck that gave great performances, but I thought the supporting cast all did a pretty good job playing their characters, even if they weren't in the film all that much. And I am not gonna lie to you right now, this is definitely up there as being some of the best acting that you are ever going to get from a Hollywood movie like this. I thought David Fincher's direction of this film was just so well done, as it really goes to show you that he is honestly one of the greatest directors in the history of modern cinema. And you can really see that from how he does such an amazing job at telling a deeply compelling story about a toxic marriage and how the media uses that to manipulate people. And to me, it is honestly one of the main reasons on why he is just the absolute best when it comes to directing thrillers. And Gone Girl is a perfect example of that. And I am not gonna lie to you right now, we need more movies just like this. Especially when you look at the fact that we are living in a society of where every film that comes out nowadays is nothing more but generic and soulless slop that nobody asked for. Also, do you want to know what's the biggest problem affecting Hollywood right now? Is the fact that they are hiring writers who don't give a fuck about telling a good story, but more about pushing their own agenda. And do you want to know why we go to films in the first place? It's to be entertained. It's just that simple. And if Hollywood can't see that, then just look at the fact that every film that is coming out nowadays is flopping at the box office. And even though there were some amazing films that came out this year, it doesn't excuse the fact that there is no saving Hollywood, because they did it to themselves with wokeness and extreme, boring, pretentious writing. And I am not gonna lie to you right now, David Fincher deserves a lot of praise for his direction of this film, as he made an absolute masterpiece that will stay with you long after you've first seen it. And it really goes to show you that He is just the master when it comes to directing thrillers, as every scene keeps you hooked, and he does not let go, and this film shows that perfectly, because he is not just a Hollywood director who directs thrillers. He is the absolute best when it comes to doing that. Because this is a story about a toxic marriage, and he uses that to tell a deeply compelling story about the dark side of our humanity. And I totally recommend that you should go check out some of his other films like Fight Club, Seven, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Game, and The Killer 2023. As they're just absolute masterpieces that Hollywood just doesn't know how to make anymore. And I am really excited for his next film that is coming out nowadays with Brad Pitt and written by Quentin Tarantino. Like, really, that is my most anticipated film for this year, because he's going to direct a great film. And you can just see that through the trailer. The cinematography is honestly one of the main reasons on why this film is just so fucking good. As it just does such an amazing job at making every scene feel cold but depressing all at the same time, as it's all done to reflect the mental state of the main characters and the world around them. And you can really see that from the way in how the film uses dark lighting and color, which was just so well done. And overall, this is honestly some of the best cinematography that I have ever seen from a modern film like this, as it fits perfectly with the film's themes and its story. And not just that, but I am just gonna let you know that this is the same cinematographer who worked with David Fincher on a lot of his films, and to me, this is honestly some of his best work, as it really makes his film so much better than it already is. And it really goes to show you that Jeff Cronenweth is honestly one of the best cinematographers working in Hollywood today. Just want to quickly charge something. I thought the cool girl monologue was just so well done, as it is honestly one of the main reasons on why Gone Girl is just so fucking good. So after it's been revealed that she faked her own death and never cared about Nick Dunn in the first place, we see a shot of Amy Dunn explaining how she always tried to maintain a cool girl archetype just to manipulate her husband. And this is where you start to realize that she is a woman who will do whatever it takes in order to achieve her goals, even if it means that she will need to fake her own death just to gain media attention. And overall, this was an amazing scene, as it fits perfectly with everything that this whole movie is about, and the persona that women always try to maintain with their husbands. And to me, it is honestly one of the main reasons on what makes this film just an absolute masterpiece of the filler genre. Sorry, it's just a cough. You're just gonna have to deal with it, right? I thought Tyler Perry did a pretty good job playing Tyler Bolt, despite the fact that he wasn't in the film all that much. And to me, one of the most interesting things about him as a character is the way in how he tries to do everything that he can in order to help Nick Dunne out with his own situation. And if there was one thing that I really liked about his performance in this movie, is the way in how he brought so much depth into the role, as it really made his character someone who you can actually care about. And not just that, but it really goes to show you that he can be a pretty good actor at times, and this film is a perfect fucking example of that. And this goes the same way with Carrie Coon as Margot Dunn, as she brought so much depth into the role. And also, Emily Ratajkowski also does a pretty good job in this film too, even if she wasn't in the film that much. One of the most interesting things about this film is the way in how it does such an amazing job at showing the dark side of a toxic marriage. And you can really see that from the relationship between Nick Dunne and his wife, as they spend their whole lives being deeply consumed by their own marriage. And the way in how the film shows that they never loved each other in the first place was just so well done. As it is just honestly one of the main reasons on why this film is just an absolute masterpiece of Hollywood cinema. And not just that, but it also does a pretty good job in showing how the media will do whatever it takes in order to get a story. And you can really see that from how they use Nick Dunne's wife just to gain media attention and put all of that on Nick Dunne. Like, really, this is a great movie that I totally recommend you should go get the fuck up and watch. I thought Neil Patrick Harris did such an amazing job playing Jesse Collins, despite the fact that he was only in the film for a couple of scenes. And if there was one thing that I really liked about his performance, is the way in how he brought so much depth and complexity into the role, as it really made Jesse Collins so much more than just a side character, but someone who is deeply complex. And you can really see that from how he is portrayed as being the ex-boyfriend to Amy Dunn. And to me, it is just honestly one of the main reasons on why Neil Patrick Harris is an underrated actor, as he does such an amazing job of playing characters who are deeply compelling but just so well written all at the same time. And you can really see that from his performance in this film right here. I thought the scene on where Amy Dunn kills Jesse Collins in the bedroom is honestly one of the most disturbing scenes that I have ever seen in a film like this, as it fits perfectly with everything that this whole movie is about. So the scene immediately starts off with Jesse Collins being confronted by Amy Dunn. But when she is trying to manipulate him through sex, she immediately decides to stab him in the neck, which causes blood to run out and ends up killing him. And I just want to say that the acting from Rosamund Pike in this scene is honestly some of the best acting that I have ever seen in a film like this, as you can really see her psychotic personality throughout the film. And I am not gonna lie to you right now, this is a pretty realistic depiction of a manipulative and toxic woman. And you can really see that from the way and how she tries to do everything that she can in order to use Jesse Collins' murder to portray her as being an innocent victim when she comes back home. And to me, it is just honestly one of the main reasons on why this film will be remembered as being an underrated masterpiece of filmmaking. And also, not just that, but her character is a perfect example of what a misandrist looks like, because she never really loved Nick Dunn and only used him just to get what she wants. And Rosamund Pike does such a great job at showing that for this film right here. Like, really, out of all of her performances in the films that she starred in, this is her best one, because she brings so much depth into this performance in a way that makes her a real threat. And I'm not gonna lie to you right now, when I first saw this film in 2023, no film has affected me more than this film right here, as it just pulls you in to the story because it is just so well written. And David Fincher, he tells this story in a way that is just deeply compelling but terrifying all at the same time. Especially when you look at how relevant it feels when it comes to relationships nowadays. Like, really, this film would have not have worked if it wasn't for David Fincher's direction. The amazing performances, the cinematography, the writing. It would have not have hit as strongly as it did when it first came out in 2014. Like, seriously, 2014 was the best year for films because you had masterpieces like Nightcrawler, Gone Girl,
Whiplash, and many more. Like, really, there will never be a decade as good as this in modern cinema anymore. Like, really, if you want a film with good writing and good directing and good performances, then go watch this film, because it is most definitely worth your time, especially in the world that we live in today. Like, really. And I also heard that this is a feminist film, but I don't see it as that, because it is just so much more than that. Especially when you look at how David Fincher tells this story. And it's also a pretty good adaptation of Gillian Flynn's novel. And I just want to say that the sound design in this movie was just so well done, as it makes every scene feel immersive but deeply atmospheric all at the same time. This is the rating that this film got on Rotten Tomatoes, so 88% from the critics and 87% from the audience, and I'm gonna read out the reviews right now. So for the first review, a masterful adaptation led by a career best performance from Rosamund Pike. For the second one, David Fincher combines a maze-like plot with brutal drama to create an unmissable thriller. For the third one, Gone Girl not only entertains but engages the viewer. This is one creepy masterpiece. For the fourth one, Gone Girl is gritty yet glamorous, creating a suspenseful and calculating masterpiece. For the fifth review, it's riveting, shocking, and hits every target it aims at. And that is something that I most definitely agree with. And as I read these reviews from the critics, it's nice seeing a film like this getting the praise that it deserves. And it really goes to show you that this film is most definitely up there as being one of the greatest thriller movies that has ever been made. And while it may look disturbing at times, it is still a whole lot better than the woke dog shit that we get from modern Hollywood, especially nowadays. I thought the soundtrack from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross is honestly one of the main reasons on why this film is just so fucking good, as it makes every scene feel atmospheric but disturbing all at the same time. And I'm gonna show you an example of it right now. Perfect film in every way a film can be. Like, really, after you've first seen it, it stays with you for a very long time, because it is just so well written and directed. I mean, The Social Network is Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's best collaboration with David Fincher. Don't get me wrong, the music in that was good, but this is 10 times better because it fits perfectly with everything that this film is about. It makes every scene feel more suspenseful and atmospheric. Like, really, this is a film with a dark and disturbing atmosphere. You don't get films this well written ever. Because as an adaptation, it's pretty good. And also, I also got back from watching The Odyssey, and I thought it was okay. It was alright. The casting was shit, but it was okay for what it was gonna do. But that's Nolan. He knows how to direct good films. It's just that this one didn't work out. Like, really. Like, the twist. It works perfectly with what the film is gonna be about. Like, at first, you think this film is gonna be a murder mystery, but it turns out to be something that is so much more than that. And it really goes to show you that David Fincher is just the absolute best when it comes to setting up every plot point that comes up. For a Hollywood film, this was actually pretty good. This is one of David Fincher's best films. And also, if you haven't seen Zodiac, I totally recommend checking it out because it's a really good movie. If you want good thriller. Yeah? At 10. You can see exactly what David Fincher wanted to do with this fucking thing. Because guess what? He tells good stories. Get I'm going to explain the ending of this film. So, after finding out that Amy Dunn is pregnant through the sperm of a fertility clinic, we see a shot of Nick Dunn and Amy Dunn being interviewed by Aline Abbott. But when they say that they're going to be a family, the film ends with him stroking his wife's head, realizing that he can never escape from his own personal hell. And to me, I thought that this was a perfect ending to a film like this, as it fits perfectly with everything that this whole film is about. The decay of marriage and the dark side of human nature as a whole. And not just that, but it is honestly one of the main reasons on why this film is most definitely worth your time. I'm gonna show you the trailers of this film, starting with the first one.
As you all know, my wife, Amy Elliott Dunn, disappeared 3 days ago. She may be the face I can't forget, a trace of pleasure or regret, may be my treasure or the price I have to pay. She may be the song that summer sings, maybe the chill that autumn brings, maybe 100 different things within the measure of a day.
You can't go on like this.
It's not good enough for you?
It's not even close.
She may be the reason I survive, the why and wherefore I'm alive, the one I'll care for through the rough and rainy years. Me, I'll take her laughter and her tears and make them all my souvenirs. Where she goes, I've got to be. The meaning of my life is I did not kill my wife. I am not a murderer.
Nick Dunn, you're probably the most hated man in America right now. Did you kill your wife, Nick? Everyone told us marriage is hard work. Not for me and Nick.
As you all know, my wife, Amy Elliott Dunn, disappeared 3 days ago. I had nothing to do with the disappearance of my wife. I have nothing to hide.
Amy got friends we can talk to?
No, not really.
You don't know if she has friends, you don't know what she does all day, and you don't know your wife's blood type.
Just being a good guy, so everybody can see him being a good guy.
Boy, you really don't like him, do you?
All I'm trying to do is be nice to the people who are volunteering to help find Amy.
Ben Affleck is a good film actor too. And this film shows that.
He's the kind of girl who attracts admirers.
Whoever took her is bound to bring her back.
I'm hoping you can tell me what this means.
Want to solve Amy's treasure hunt?
You seen this girl around here?
Yeah, I remember. I know you. I saw you at the volunteer center. I wanted to help. What she want? She wanted a gun. We are all scared, but we are all here now.
I feel like something to be jettisoned if necessary. I feel like I could disappear.
The hallmark of a sociopath is a lack of empathy. Amy lost a lot of blood in there, and somebody mopped it up.
Why do they mop up the blood if they're trying to stage a crime scene? Whatever they found, I think it's safe to assume that it's very bad.
I finally realized I am frightened of my own husband.
I would show you, as if you're doing a deposition, what to say, what not to say.
A trained monkey?
A trained monkey who doesn't get lethal injections.
She's going to eat you alive.
You assaulted her?
It's not good enough for you? I hit her?
It's not even close.
Absolutely not. I never touched her.
We now believe Nick is involved in the disappearance of our daughter.
Without a body, without a murder weapon, their only hope is a
You
confession.
don't know anything yet?
You need to tell me.
How was your marriage,
Are
Nick?
you asking me if I killed my wife?
Man of my dreams. This man of mine may kill me.
What about my son, Nick?
This man may kill me. In her own words,
This man may truly
kill me.
You ever hear the expression, what answers often regret?
Actually, I've never
In conclusion, this was a great film, as it does such an amazing job at showing how a relationship can slowly tear itself apart from the inside out. And to me, it makes me realize that we just don't get movies like this anymore. Especially when you look at the fact that every film that comes out nowadays is either a sequel, pre-make, or remake, or spin-off of something that has already been done before. And it really goes to show you that Hollywood is creatively bankrupt. And if there is anything else that I want to say about this film, it's go fucking watch it, as it's just an absolute masterpiece when it comes to the acting, the directing, the writing, the cinematography. Everything just works. And not just that, but you can really tell that this was made by a filmmaker who actually gave a shit about the film that he wanted to make. And he did it perfectly. And I'm just gonna let you know that the next films that I'm gonna be reviewing is You Were Never Really Here and At Eternity's Gate, so go get ready for those. And also, anyway, go away now and always remember, strike back like a weapon against wokeness. And keep supporting films like this, because we need them more than ever before. Because this is back when Hollywood actually gave a shit, and they're not gonna go back to making the stories that you want to see. But it'll take time. They just need to stop lecturing and start entertaining. It's just that simple. And that's what this film does so well, is that it tells a great story while being entertaining. Hollywood just don't know how to make movies like this anymore, and it's actually kind of sad, because nowadays it's just soulless content nowadays. Like, really, this film is worth your time, man. Go watch it, because it will stay with you long after it's over. So yeah, see you in the next one.